listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. I'm Cynthia, the pharmacist, and today you'll get your questions answered and your curiosity cured. There's times as a pharmacist that I get asked to do things or I get asked about certain things and I'm like, what makes you think that I can do that? What about me or my position makes you think that like I'm actually going to be able to do that for you? So we're going to go over 5 things. There may be a bonus one if I come up with something else. 5 things that your pharmacist is not. Number 1, your pharmacist is not a mind reader. Okay? Your pharmacist can't read your mind. Probably nobody can read your mind. Your wife can't read your mind. Your husband can't read your mind. But your pharmacist can't read your mind. I'm not a mind reader. So when somebody comes up to the counter and they're like, hey, I'm like, hey, how can I help you? I can't read your mind. I can't read your mind about symptoms. You come and be like, I need some advice for my cold. Okay, so tell me about your cold. Well, I have a cold. Okay, gonna need a little more of that. Need some more information than that, than just you have a cold. Because some people have colds and it affects their nose and their eyes more. Some people have a cold and it affects their throat more. So, depending on how you feel when you have a cold, I need that information. I can't read your mind. The second thing that your pharmacist is not a robot. Your pharmacist is a human. And as a human, your pharmacist gets hungry. Your pharmacist gets tired. Sometimes your pharmacist gets their feelings hurt if somebody's mean and nasty to them. Your pharmacist has to pee because as a human, your pharmacist has a bladder. And if they're actually allowed to eat and drink, then that bladder will fill up and then they have to go empty it. So pharmacists are not robots. We're humans just like everyone else. Sick people come to see us and sometimes we get sick and it just happens. And so we probably have sometimes just as miserable a day as you do when you come to the pharmacy because you're sick, because we got sick from somebody like you that shared their germs with us. That's okay. It's part of the job, but we at least like the sympathy because we're not robots, right? Not robots. And that goes for a lot of people that serve you in other areas. The servers at restaurants aren't robots. They're humans. So let's treat them like humans because they have all of the same basic human bodily needs that you do, and they just happen to be there to serve you because they're needing to make money to feed themselves and clothe themselves or feed their children, and so they're humans, just like the rest of us. Your pharmacist is not a prescriber. Yes, and cashiers. Your cashiers are humans. So let's treat them like humans. Let's treat everybody like humans because there's not really any non-humans that we're going to encounter much out in society other than those that are like animals, and you should like treat animals with respect too. But all across the board, everybody's a human, so let's just treat them that way. But pharmacists are not prescribers. In very, very few states do pharmacists have prescribing rights where they can give you medicine without the permission of a doctor. California kind of has some weird gray area thing that they let pharmacists do. all the little humans, just treat everybody like humans. In certain circumstances, like in the Department of Defense, certain bases and certain clinics in the U.S. will actually have civilian healthcare providers do certain things. And in those cases, sometimes a pharmacist can prescribe medication or something under the supervision of a doctor or kind of without doctor permission. But that's a special circumstance. You're not going to see those people. I'm not one of those people. I'm standing behind a pharmacy counter. I'm not going to be able to do the things that they can. So just know, don't expect your pharmacist to be able to prescribe anything without like the doctor having to do that first. There's times people will come, the doctor will write a prescription and be like, oh, I'm allergic to that antibiotic. Can you just change it to something else? No, I can't because I'm not a prescriber. For one, I don't know what type of infection that you're suffering with. I could probably guess based on the antibiotic that they wrote you the first time, but I'm not in this place. I'm not in the position to guess. Nobody pays me to guess. The state doesn't license me to guess about things. So I can't guess. So I can't just change it to something else because the doctor wrote the wrong thing. So I always have to call for permission. There are some dumb things that we have to call for permission, like if you want to get 3 months worth of medication instead of just 1 month of medication, the state of Georgia requires us to call and get permission for those things. And it's like, I can kind of do math. Like, I had to take a big math test to be able to do this job, so I can do math. So why don't you just let me do math? But they don't. I still have to call and get permission. So that's kind of silly. But I'm not a prescriber. I can't just like give you something. If it's a Sunday and the doctor's offices are closed and the line at the clinic or the ER is like 5 miles long and you're just like, hey, I'm kind of sick. Can you give me something? Not from back here. Over the counter stuff I can, but not prescription medicines. I can't just like be like, oh yeah, here you go. Not allowed to do that. This is another one that like some of these, like, I come up with these because I actually had somebody, like, ask all of these questions. It was one person expecting me to read their mind. But, yeah, like, we could do math. If they would just let me do the simple math, that'd be great. It's dumb to have to, like, call and always get permission for simple math problems. The harder ones, like, I can understand if, like, they really jacked it up. But simple things like dividing 90 by 30 and, like, coming up with a number, okay, like, that's simple math. I don't need to call a doctor to ask for help for that. But, anyway, they still make me. But pharmacists are not best friends with all of the doctors. And somebody kind of asked me that question and like expected me to have the doctor's home phone number because it was a Saturday evening and obviously his office wasn't open on Saturdays, but they needed something from him on a Saturday. And I'm going, I don't know him. Like, I don't have his number. I don't have like this secret backline doctor number where I can like reach doctors anytime I need them. Like, again, doctors are humans too. And they have their days that they work, and then they have the days that they're off, and then they leave it to the hospital on-call doctors to kind of take care of all the weird weekend things that go on. So I don't have the right to interrupt them and their family time when they work all week and then take a day off to let somebody else kind of do it to take a break. So, yeah, so we're not best friends. We get along okay. And some of them kind of like have learned me by name, but we're not best friends. So I don't just get to call them at night or on weekends when like somebody needs something because he's my best friend. That doesn't happen. Not best friends. We are pleasant professional colleagues, but we're not best friends. So that doesn't give me permission to call them at home, at night, or on weekends, or when they're on vacation, or anything else. So, not best friends with the doctors. And then the last thing is that the pharmacist is not your personal assistant or secretary. Because I have patients that just think that I know everything about all the medicines that they take, and I know exactly when their medicine's going to run out, and I know exactly when to refill it, and somehow I'm going to magically have it ready for them exactly when I know it's going to run out. So all they have to do is come pick it up. It kind of goes along with the whole mind reader thing. Like, I don't read your mind. Like, I don't know by instinct that you forgot to take your medicine on Tuesday, so then you had like an extra day, so you don't need your refill until a day later. Yeah, it's really bizarre what they think that I'm capable of, because those things I can't do. We serve 500 people. I can't be the personal assistant or secretary for 500 people's medicine. Now, the people that I've been seeing for 6 and 7 years because they've been coming to my store ever since my store opened, those are the kinds of people that I kind of have started learning things about, but only because we've built a relationship, not because I'm just skilled at remembering things and holding that in my brain. Most pharmacies have a program that's called, they'll call it like auto refill or auto fills, and then it lets the computer try to remember when it's time for you to get your next refill, and all it does is say, you got your medicine on the 13th, and that medicine is supposed to last 30 days. So the computer counts 30 days from the 13th into the next month and says, you're going to need your medicine on this day, and then it'll fill your medicine on that day. The computer program is really good at doing calendar math like that. If I had to try to do calendar math for multiple prescriptions times 500 people, like, again, I'm a human, I'm not a robot, I'm not a computer, I'm not a mind reader, so I'll let the computer do the computer part, and then I'll try to do the human part, and if I make a mistake, I'll apologize because I'm human and I make mistakes, and that's okay, but, like, I'm not your personal secretary to keep up with all of your medicines to know exactly when it's going to run out. So I let the computer do that if you want it to. If not, you kind of have to adult it yourself and keep up with your own refills and your own medicine. And like, they expect me to like know when their doctor's appointments are, and I'm going, I didn't schedule it for you. I was not there when you got your appointment card, so you kind of probably need to either call your doctor if you lost your appointment card, or find it, or check and see, or try to reschedule or something, because I'm not your secretary. I don't do those things. Your pharmacist can do a lot of wonderful things for you. We have a lot of services that we can do, like the autofill. We can let the computer try to remember all that stuff so the computer can keep up with it. So I can focus on more human things like having sympathy for you and empathy and being compassionate and helping you solve problems. I'm a good problem solver. A lot of states even allow pharmacists to do emergency fills. So if it's a weekend and we can't reach the doctor and you're out of your medicine and you're about to get on an airplane and fly to Oregon or something ridiculous like that. Not that Oregon's ridiculous, but it's from Georgia. It's a long way away, and it's a long way away to travel without your medicine. I have this little cushion where we can do emergency fills to make sure that people don't miss their life-saving medicine just because they're traveling or just because it happened to run out on a Sunday and the doctor's offices aren't going to be open. We can do those things. I'm compassionate. I'm willing to work with you and do those kinds of things that I'm allowed to inside my little pharmacy law box. But the compassion allows me to problem solve and fix those things. But if I'm always expected to read your mind and get everything right and keep up with all of your other nitty gritty things, then I'm not going to be able to have the mind space to help you solve problems or to help you come up with a solution or give you advice on things that you need over the counter. My brain can only hold so much. But anyway, so there's a lot of wonderful things that your pharmacist can do for you, but reading your mind and being a robot is not on the top of the priority list, because we think that we can do much better things if we leave the computing to the computers and the humaning to the pharmacist. So anyway, accept this as my public service announcement. Thanks for being here. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Pharmacist Answers podcast. The pharmacy is now closed. You can post your questions and comments on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/pharmanswerspod. Or you can email the show at pharmacistanswershere@gmail.com. You can tweet me or message me on Twitter at @SinHendrix. You can find the show notes at pharmacistanswershere.wordpress.com. Pharmacist Answers broadcasts live on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time on the Periscope app. You can follow me at SinHendrix or view in your web browser at periscope.tv/SinHendrix. See you next time on the Pharmacist Answers podcast.